The Film Slice crew review Gringo. Buckle yourselves in, sit back and get yourself a tasty treat because this is one for the ages, everybody. Have a great time.
Signore. Hey team, Angus Dragon here and welcome to the Film Slice podcast. I'm here as always with my co-host Kane Diddly Wiggly Kane Dogs.
Hello.
And Bro Diddly Doo Richardicus Richards.
Hello.
What is up, gentlemen?
I'm very eager to see because earlier last week we put out for people to name themselves
We did.
listeners. And
That's
I know
right.
we're not there yet, but I'm very excited and concerned as to what they've gone with.
That's interesting.
Anyway, I'm good.
Yeah, that's
How
good.
are you, Angus?
That's good. I'm great.
Fantastic.
I'm
Brody,
excited.
how are you going?
Piss off, mate.
Yep, I'm excited. This week we're reviewing Gringo, which for me went under the radar. I didn't realize that it came out until it came out, and you guys suggested we do it. K-Dogs, do you want to hit us up with an IMDb super quick?
I can, Angus.
Hit us up with a summary
Okay.
of IMDb.
From the IMDb, Gringo, a dark comedy mixed with white-knuckle action and dramatic intrigue, explores the battle of survival for businessman Harold Soyinka, when he finds himself crossing the line from law-abiding citizen to wanted criminal.
That's right, starring
Intrigue.
David Oyelowo. Do you want to try?
No, I'm not gonna.
Oyelowo. I hope I got that right. Joel Edgerton, Charlize Theron, and Thandie Newton.
Tandy Newton.
Tandy Newton, not
Thandie Newton.
Also, Sholto Copley, which is he's not on the IMDb page,
Who
but he's
played
really
the
good.
mercenary?
That's Sholto Copley.
Because
Yeah,
I was like, he looks so familiar. In the
Yeah,
trailer, I was
bunch
like,
of stuff. District 9, Elysium.
that's
so much
where
stuff.
I'm-
Yeah, right.
He's one of my
Wait,
favorite actors. I
he
love him
is
so
the guy
much.
from Elysium with the cool sword and shit?
Yeah,
I thought it
like
was
the main
him.
villain. Yeah.
Thought it was him.
Cool. And directed by Nash Edgerton, Joel Edgerton's brother.
Oh,
So this was actually done by their production company.
so
They've-
many of these things
Is it
explain
Blue
so
Tongue?
much.
Blue Tongue, yeah.
Yeah.
Blue Tongue Films. Which
else
is good.
have-
Aussie. Oi, oi, oi.
I like their pre-roll. Their cool little
Yeah.
car chase.
Yeah. Let's throw back quickly to last week's podcast. We asked our audience
I've forgotten it already.
what they would like to be called because they're like, a lot of podcasts and a lot of radio shows and stuff, they all have little pet names for their audience. And I feel like we're missing out if we don't give a name to
Yeah. For example, Jordan, what was the name
characterize
of your
our audience.
first pet?
Jordan number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
was just-
in lieu of that,
Look,
we're
I was
calling...
young, but still very egotistical.
So anyway, we put the question out there, and surprisingly, we got a fair few suggestions.
Awesome.
Are you ready to
None
hear
of them are from me.
Did
Ready to
any
hear
of them like the slices?
Well, we've got MW Podcast saying slices.
Ooh.
So there's one vote for slices. The Stock Boys channel says...
I wonder who came up with that.
call them Stock Boys. So we've got that. We can probably throw that in the bin. For anyone that doesn't know the Stock Boys, that's another comedy group that I'm in. Next one, we've got Her Majesty's Wardrobe suggested the Slices.
That is a close friend of mine and ours. Yes.
Missy G94 says, I wanted to say the pod people, but Jordan sent you pictures I sent him and half ruined it, but not his idea first.
That would be my girlfriend.
I still think the pod people. There are quite a lot of podcasts out there, I feel like. They may get confused with pod people being very
Look,
generic, but
I got in trouble because I made fun of her in our last podcast, and that happened to be the one part of the podcast she walked in on me listening to. And I got in trouble. So I'm not going to make fun of her. However, I did bring the point up that if you call them the pod people, it's not specific to our podcast.
yeah, it's very unspecific. Okay, next thing we've got is from Nathan Clinic. He says the Rompers.
That'd be pretty good.
The Rompers. And then we've got from Jonty, long-time listener. He said, could be the Kelly Gang, as in from Connor Kelly, but also Nick Kelly, because we're Australian.
I love that Connor Kelly is such a part of the podcast.
He's such a part of the podcast.
Good on
him. So it could be the Kelly Gang, or you could call the collective the Bakery. So it could be, this is what the
okay.
Bakery thought of.
That could be kind of cool.
I actually really
like that.
I like the Bakery.
That all being said, anyone who misses this podcast is just you being like, so we asked the bakery what they thought, and they're just going to think you just went in and asked your local bakery, just like
Wait,
four people.
Are we the bakers in this bakery?
Or
No.
are we the product of the bakery?
I don't know. This is
Are we,
Never have I
are we
thought
the
about-
bakers making the Film Slice podcast, which the...
I can't say no because it's becoming too
right.
oddly existential.
Okay.
Anyway, it also just sounds like you've walked into your local bakery and said, "So I got a podcast.
Yeah,
What do
so
you think
it-
I should call the people?" And just your local bakery have said, "Oh, yeah, this."
Okay, so we've got the Kelly Gang, the bakery, the slices, the slicees, and the pod people, or the rompers,
Or the Jordans.
or the Jordans.
Look, I actually really like rompers.
Rompers.
Yeah.
Rumpers. Nice.
It is very much like the pod people, where there's no context.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Context to
what
it.
about? I don't mind slices either.
Slices.
Slicey.
Slices is
It's kind of cute.
It is. It's cute, but
Why don't we can alternate between slices and slices depending on how cute we're feeling.
Fair enough. Yeah. If we're not feeling cute, we call them the slices. And if we're feeling cute, we
Yeah.
call them the slices.
The slices.
Or yeah,
Little slices.
or we could interchange between all of them and then just see how they feel. So let's try the slices.
And they're
first off.
all a part of the bakery.
And they're all a part of the they're all a part of the. Let's
all
try
part of the-
slices first off.
Okay, we'll go with the slices.
Lads, you know how every week I put up on Instagram and now Twitter what movie we're reviewing, and we get the slices to reply to us if they've seen it and let us know what they think.
I'm in a
I
slightly
do
worse.
know that, Angus.
I'm in a worse
you.
mood, so I'm going to call them the slices today. But yes.
Okay, all right. Guess how many people we got today? How many slices we got
1,000.
today?
I'm going to say 2.
Well,
More people than we collectively know.
you were both wrong. We got one.
Ooh, that's a number.
That's a number.
That's more than none.
All right, so this is from Podcast Movie Nerds. They said this movie was ... kind of weird. The trailers made it look like it was a comedy, but I remember it being ... forgettable. Lol, because I really don't remember shit about it. There you go.
I wouldn't disagree.
Thanks, Podcast Movie Nerds. Check them out if you want.
And
Commenting
let them
on
know
it-
if
on a
we're
post.
good.
Yeah, maybe just let them know. Anyway, that's what the Sliceys had to say this week. Cane Dogs, when did you see the movie and what did you think?
When did you see the movie? What did you think? Do you like the movie? None of the shit.
I saw the movie Friday night. It's about 2 days ago. And I prefer the trailer.
Yeah,
than
right.
The movie, because the trailer made it seem like sort of a cool, quippy Ocean's 11-y type deal. Mm-hmm. And this was none of that.
Yeah, right. Broadman, when did you see the movie? What did you think?
I saw it yesterday. And overall, I liked it, but I thought that it had a very, very slow beginning.
And
kind of-
middle and ending.
Well, I liked the pacing of kind of
Yeah.
everything after the midpoint.
Okay.
But very slow beginning. And I felt like a lot of that kind of feeling of slow pacing was that pretty much all the jokes they tried didn't hit for me.
Right.
I would agree.
Fair.
Angus.
I saw the movie last night. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good fun. I hadn't seen the trailer because
Yeah.
you said that you saw the trailer.
Yeah.
Maybe if I saw the trailer, maybe I might have been misled a bit. But
You went
because I
in
didn't see, I went
completely in
in
the
like
dark?
yeah,
Yeah.
went in completely in the dark. All I had was one of my friends that I was out at a pub with. I was like, oh, we're going to be doing Gringo. Have you heard about it? And he's like, oh, yeah, it's about this and this and this. And only half of it was true. But I came into it with no expectations as to
Yeah.
what the movie was. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a cup of fresh air.
Yeah?
Yeah. Nice one. I guess we'll go on to our next segment. Would you recommend it and who would you recommend it to?
Glad you didn't ask me because I can't remember what it was.
Broadman.
I wouldn't recommend this to everyone, although I think it is kind of like a film which isn't like there is an audience where it's like, don't watch this.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like a blanket, like kind of could fall on anyone's funny bone or whatever. I think that I would recommend this to maybe some kind of people looking for not just the most basic of a film, like people who go and watch, the Transformers every year or whatever. I wouldn't recommend this to them.
No, this would be a very dry film. I don't think I'd recommend this to anyone. It was a swing and a miss for me. maybe 3 out of the entire movie's jokes sort of landed for me, and for the other things I laughed at, I would say there was a good performance in it, but ultimately not. It didn't save the film for me in any way. Both me and my girlfriend halfway through it looked at each other and would have walked out if I wasn't reviewing it. It was like an hour and a half film. It felt way more than that by the time we walked out of it. Yeah.
I would recommend it. I would say that this doesn't really fit into any category. I didn't go into it thinking it was a comedy, and it's not. There are funny bits in it, but it's also, I guess it's probably closest to a drama, but there are very silly bits in it. So it mixes genres a bit, which I quite enjoyed. And the storyline, even though it does kind of hug a very tried and tested,
it's very convoluted as well.
Drug storyline. It kind of has a new twist on it, which I really like. It's one of those movies where you have to pay attention, otherwise you'll lose where the characters are from and what the motives are and everything. So it is quite
It's a little bit chaotic.
Complex. Yeah.
So I think one of the biggest impacting things that ruined the film for me is I watched the trailer and looked at the IMDb page, not just for ratings, but for what sort of theme it comes under. It is an action comedy. Now, I wouldn't say this film was big on action, nor would I say it was big on comedy. It's also rated R in what I just assume is America. I also wouldn't say this was big on swearing or on gore or on anything.
Fair.
So I went in with all these sort of descriptions for the film and walked out feeling like 0 of those boxes were ticked.
So I guess who would we recommend it to? We would recommend it to people who haven't seen the trailer and haven't done any research on it.
Go in blind. Unless you listen to this podcast.
And you'll have a good time. Yeah. All right, so we're going to start a new segment that we've been working on in the Film Slice laboratory called...
In the bakery.
First Impressions in the Bakery.
It means anything, Brody. It means anything.
I like it. I like that there's a thing called the bakery, and that's a thing that we have.
We have, yeah.
I like it.
I like it. Where was I? So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to run through the cast fairly quickly, and we're just going to have 1 or 2 words from both Jordan and Brody, I might jump in as well, on how you thought they performed in this film.
Okay.
Are we ready, gentlemen?
I've got my hand on the buzzer, which is Angus's knee.
Joel Edgerton.
Could have been anyone.
Meh.
Yep.
Charlize Theron.
Liked her.
All right.
Yep.
David Oyelowo.
Enjoyable.
Pretty good.
Yeah, charismatic.
Tandy Newton.
I like her.
Could have been played by anybody.
Shalto Copley.
Great.
I've already forgotten who he is.
That's the brother of Joel Edgerton.
He was great.
Drew Amanda Seyfried.
Love her.
Yul Vasquez, the driver.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Pretty good.
Loved him.
Cool. There you go.
Smashed it.
That was First Impressions. First Impressions.
What a pointless segment that is.
Yeah.
Alright, moving on.
Do your Christopher Walken.
No, why? Why do you want me to do my Christopher Walken?
And say First Impressions.
The first impressions are amazing. You know, a lot of talented actors these days. I keep him up my ass. What is he saying?
What is that? I keep him up my ass.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
I carried this watch for 16 years. Up my ass.
Very good. Okay, I think without further ado, let's head on into spoilers and talk the bits and pieces.
Oh, what a cool sound effect, Angus.
All right, we're in the spoiler section, gentlemen. Feel free to let loose. We're going to start with our most positive...
Oh, that was messy.
Our most positive thing about the film. Who wants to go first?
Yep, I'll go first.
Cane Dogs.
The Mercenary. Very rarely do we get to see mercenaries in films that aren't main characters. And I just really liked this character as someone that sort of went in and out of the story and had some sort of spiritual
conundrum. A spiritual conundrum.
Okay. Yeah, the mercenary.
He wasn't
spiritual
sure.
Conundrum.
Wasn't sure whether he believed in God or if he believed in he believed in soul searching but didn't believe in religion.
Or maybe money's worth more than a soul because souls aren't real, or maybe they are real. I really liked
He's an interesting character.
I feel like we got more out of his character than we did out of any other character, and he
Yeah.
probably had the least amount of screen time. And he was,
Yeah,
Fair
I
enough.
loved him.
fair. Birdman, most positive.
I really loved the moment in the film where all the other storylines and characters started piling in. Because I just loved the chaos of it. It was just really fun. There was like DIA agents. There was the other two characters from America showing up. There was Sharlto Copley's character.
The two guys that ran like the hotel.
All of
they
them
were
just
great.
piling in was just a lot of fun. It
I
was just so much
really,
fun.
really loved it when because it all kind of worked together. There was one scene in it where the hotel guys dress up in their Mexican like wrestling masks and they go to kidnap the guy, and it's at that moment that
The mercenary,
the mercenary
drops in.
comes in and it's like, oh, obviously these guys are the ones that
Yeah.
kidnapped him, even though it wasn't, and it was a whole lot.
And he,
it
like,
just,
And he also
knocks them
traps
out,
the
yeah.
tourists.
Yeah. and it just works out like so stupidly well. And I agree, bro. That's
It was
fantastic.
just a lovely moment that we don't get in most films, and
What-
it was just really well
Yeah.
done.
What
really
was
good
weird
writing.
though is that was sort of the culmination of all of those characters coming together, but it was only halfway through the film, and then the film ended where no one's anywhere near each other, and that was odd. But anyway, I'll get there. Angus, what was your favorite part?
My favorite part. Well, I was actually going to mention that scene.
Yeah.
Specifically, I really enjoyed that scene, but
We need to start asking you before.
yeah, we need to
sometimes-
figure out what we're
'cause we
saying.
always seem to have a
Yeah.
combined like.
but I really loved David Oyelowo. I hope I'm saying that right. But yeah, I thought he was fantastic,
It's always-
and it's great to follow a character like that where he's your everyday Joe, and just things are piling up on
It's
him.
a very normal kind of film where you take someone likable and relatable and sort of push them to the edge with comedic effect and to have a mental breakdown. But I think he does it in a way that felt more real.
Yeah.
Because usually, like, it happens in almost every Ben Stiller movie you've ever seen or anything else like that. They have a mental breakdown and it's funny, but then their entire character type changes entirely.
and they just go crazy.
And they either
yeah.
go crazy or they like dial down on trying to be a badass, whatever it is they're doing wrong. Whereas he has his mental breakdown, but he still keeps sort of a realistic take on what his life is.
Yeah,
It's really great.
I think it's a good pairing to have David in this kind of a movie, which isn't exactly a comedy, because I feel like he would get lost if it was in like a Ben Stiller comedy or something
absolutely.
like that. But it's quite a nice pairing to have him in this. Like the other characters, they're not even playing deadpan; they're just playing more dramatic. Which is great to see him kind of bounce off of. The first time we kind of see David come into his own as a character is when he's pretending on the phone to be beaten, and I thought that was a really good scene.
And what's
to
great
kind
is
of
he's not
build
very
on
good at
his-
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
this is what an average, like, this is like a normal person's attempt at doing that without, like, you know, enough people who have seen these kinds of films probably would do it better. But just for a normal man that has a normal life, as his wife goes to work, comes back, this is how he thinks would be the best way to do it. And it backfires immediately.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic.
Yeah, really, really love that. Really love that scene as well. Yeah. Okay, I guess we're gonna head on to our.
Brody's doing something very odd. Brody's so...
David Oyelowo.
Oh, yellow.
So he says, put an O either side of the word yellow. Oh, yellow, O.
Oh, yellow yo.
Not yo.
yellow O.
Oh, yellow yo.
No.
Oh, yellow o.
Yeah.
Oh, yellow o. Oh, yellow o. Yeah. Oh, yellow o. Oh, yellow o. Anyway, that one. Kate and Dogs, your most negative part of the film.
I'm gonna say the boyfriend of the young couple that are sort of there to try and take some drugs back, especially the guy. Nothing, like, his entire character is useless. Nothing happens. Where it starts and where it finishes, there's zero, like, the only point of him being there is so that the girlfriend can get dragged over there.
The only thing that he really does plot-wise is at the very end when the alarm gets set off and then the police come, and that kind of...
And even then, we
starts
don't know what
that
happened to his
whole
character.
last-
Like, he doesn't get
last
shot,
scene.
it just cuts
It do-
away from...
Oh, well, I mean, you see him in the next few scenes afterwards, because he gets on a bus and
Yeah.
the feds find him and
Pick
they
him up.
find him.
I must
find
have
the
not
drugs
been
in
paying
him.
attention.
Bradman?
I'm gonna say the first 25 minutes. It was a really slow burn, and it was really, really quiet as well. And there was a dickhead in the theater.
Oh yeah.
I had a dickhead too.
Really too.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what yours is like.
Let's compare dicks.
Okay,
Brody.
okay, yours is probably going to be so much worse than mine, because mine is just a thing where it's just like, oh my god. So he was sitting one row behind me, about 4 rows to my right. Okay, so this guy had this huge bucket of popcorn, way too big for one person, and he ate the entire thing very slowly with his mouth open. So the entire film, the first 25 minutes were bad because it was really quiet and it was such a slow burn that is all I could concentrate on. And he just ate there, just like,
Oh yeah, that'd
gross.
drive me insane.
Yeah, nasty.
Oh,
Ken Dog, how big is your dickhead?
so I have, I've got to consult a doctor, but I had 2 dicks in my theater.
Yeah. I had a pair of dicks.
I had 2 guys sitting 2 rows in front of us.
Uh-huh.
There were only maybe 6 people in my theater, and we saw it Friday night, opening week. So not a big opening weekend. I feel like this film's gonna have, and I'm pretty sure they were both smashed. But they spent the whole time with their mobile phone light on, waving it in front of us, and then they spent a lot of time on Instagram, like posting pictures and writing comments, and then on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, they were sitting at either like about sort of 5 chairs in between them, and they were throwing an empty Coke bottle to each other in front of me in the theater.
oh my god.
And just look, if for whatever reason, there's no reason, but if for whatever reason you are on your phone, at least have the decency to turn the brightness down. Angus, we haven't got to your dick yet, but the other thing that happened is 2/3 of the way through the film, like it was definitely at least 2/3. A couple came in and sat down, presumably to watch the last third of the film. Like,
Yeah, right.
It's nuts.
I don't know, like this isn't the kind of film you can walk in.
To be fair, they did catch the best part.
An hour. It's not the kind of thing you can walk an hour and a half into and just catch up to speed on.
Yeah.
There's a
that's
lot
odd.
going on. It was just really weird. Anyway, Angus, your dick.
Okay, I feel kind of bad for saying it.
Yeah,
But also, it was quite annoying. There was a couple behind me, and English obviously wasn't their first language.
Yeah.
So the whole movie, the husband was translating to the wife what was happening in the movie.
No, look, I get.
No, I just love the sound
I
you
just-
made.
No,
Oh.
I feel bad.
That sounds
I feel
really
bad for
irritating.
saying that because, like,
At
obviously,
least,
like, it's
at least it
tricky
wasn't in
for-
English. If it was in English, you'd have been listening to every single word they were saying.
Here's the thing: you can
Yeah.
I empathise with the situation. At the same time, you can see films with subtitles on. You can request for there to be subtitles put on the theater.
You can get
The other thing is if you're gonna do that, sit away from other. Like, was your cinema packed?
No.
Sit or did you sit down?
I sat
first?
down first. Yeah, I sat down
so
first.
if you're
and
going to
they-
do that, sit
Yeah. behind
down
me.
away from people so you're not whispering in the back of someone else's head.
Yeah, so I do feel a bit bad calling them dicks, but and then there was
totally fair.
There was also one person.
What a dick.
There was also one person that was behind their row who like heard
saying
them.
everything they said in English.
No.
Their partner.
It was the very
So
start
they're
of the.
saying now. So he's just describing to her.
No, he was saying. He kind of just yelled out after the first scene of hearing them translate, saying, "Can you be quiet, please?" And I'm like,
Oh. Now
It is a
he's
dick
even
thing
bigger
to,
dick.
It's a dick
He's
thing
an
to
even
say.
bigger dick.
I'm like, thank you, but also you kind of
'Cause-
said it
'cause
in a
what
dick
they're
way.
doing-
Essentially, he didn't know that they were like maybe he just thought they were whispering through the whole
Yeah.
film. That's just that's an awkward scenario.
See, he's now the bigger dick.
Yeah.
As much as it's annoying
Yeah.
to have people whispering, it's like it's kind of necessary if she couldn't understand it.
That's-
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
irritating, but it's one of those things where it's like it's irritating, but it's okay.
Yeah.
That's-
But him telling them to be quiet is like nah.
Welcome to Film Slice Podcast's new segment, Cinema
Dick
Etiquette.
or not?
Yeah. Yeah. Cinema Dick. Yeah.
Cinema dick. Anyway, Angus. Hey Angus.
Hey, Jordan. Cinema Dick.
Cinema dick. All right, now that we've done that, let's get back to the film. Please
Let's get back to the film.
please
All
don't
right.
cut-
What was your
Don't
least
cut
favorite
all of
thing?
this.
Did we go through that?
No, we didn't go. Okay, so my least favorite thing.
Well, we're only here.
My least favorite thing was at the very end of the film. You kind of get like a montage of things wrapping up. All of the bad people are going to jail. All of the good people have got their lives back together and stuff. The one thing that I didn't like was that Charlize Theron's character. That's her name, yeah.
Yep.
That she got the business.
She got no comeuppance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she had no karma come to her. She got the business, and she
I kind of like that.
Kinda kept
I kind
on-
of like that.
kept on
Because
going with the way that she was going.
She actually was interested in was it Joel Edgerton's character? Like she was generally
Yeah.
interested in some sort of relationship with him, and he was really nasty to her. So there was a part of her like where it's like she might not be the nicest person, but she was the one that was like, we can't let him die in Mexico. She was still a person.
Yeah,
Whereas
that's-
Joel Edgerton was just like the lowest of
I
the lowest
think
person.
you're meant to empathize with her more than it kind of came across. I think
Yeah.
you're meant
I
to
think she was
that,
meant to be a bit of a grey.
I think you're meant to think that she's doing bad things, but she's kind of misunderstood, and you didn't get enough time with. Like, I think you only get her to break down in the car for 40 seconds as being like, my dad was really hard on me and stuff like that, and I was meant to be a winner, and she has to tell herself that to feel okay. I think you're meant to empathize in that scene a lot more with her than it kind of came across.
I just yeah.
and then when
I
she
didn't.
succeeds at the end, you're meant to feel like she deserves it, but it
Because to
didn't
me,
come across that way.
Because to me, it sounded like it was her idea to start selling drugs to the cartel, and I thought
Yeah.
that was like her major input into the plot.
I was
that-
surprised. Thing I hated at the very end, Harold looks at the screen and smiles. I hated it. Not the type of film where people look at the screen at the end and smile. Wasn't my deal. I was happy for him to have his little thing on a beach, staring out into the sunset, but then he turned, looked at the smile, and all it was missing was the cheesiest wink of all time. I hated it.
I feel like that. I didn't mind that just because like he finally understands what kind of a life he's living, kind of thing.
One viewed by
So-
audiences.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I didn't mind that.
Yeah,
What
I
did
was-
you think of? I really took the death of the Joel Edgerton's brother.
I didn't
Sheldon
expect him
Cooper.
to die.
Didn't expect him to die, and it was so sudden.
I loved it.
It was really great,
So
like-
well done.
He got shot and just dropped, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah, it was
oh my
confronting.
God,
It
what
was
a-
really confronting because
yeah.
I really didn't want him to die because
Yeah,
I really
no,
liked
I
his
was-
character.
I really liked that chemistry as well between the two. That the scenes where they're kind of bargaining with each other, and you don't know what's gonna happen.
How
and
great is it when...
is he gonna shoot him or isn't he gonna shoot him?
I
And, like,
love the concept of Harold knows less about sort of this kind of a world. To the other guy, he hasn't come across someone that's just so innocent and likable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's really conflicted because he shoots people all the time, but he just can't bring himself to shoot this almost pathetic, likable man. And it's great. It forces him to like question his own belief and stuff like that. I also love the scene where the guy is looking at the computer and he's meant to be making a deal for Harold to get more money. And in another language, it swaps to being like a hit put on Harold.
yeah,
But the mercenary makes sure everything he says could be
Yeah.
interpreted by Harold.
Yeah.
as-
Because he's like wearing headphones so Harold can't hear.
and
what
I love
the-
it because
what
the whole
they're saying.
time he's like, he's like, oh, 2 million and I'll kill him. But he's like, kill him for 2 million. And he says, 2 million? All right, deal. And Harold's on the other side of the computer like, yes, we're
he's
getting
got
2
2
million.
million.
Yeah.
you're really good at this.
That
kind of
was
thing, yeah.
that was my favorite scene in the
Yeah.
film, I reckon. That
was
was
really nice.
so likable.
I think we're gonna wrap it up
Yeah,
there.
probably.
Cane Dogs, do you have any idea of how we could end this film?
I did have one.
Yeah, go on.
It does leave one member of us out, more or less.
That's all right. I'm used to it.
I thought, sorry, Brody, but like maybe you come up with something. I was gonna say, just tell a story of sort of the worst thing that a boss or a superior has sort of done. I've got a list, but one of
You know what? Take the floor.
No, okay. Well,
Take the
here's
floor.
one of the things that my boss did at a workplace, and I won't name the workplace, but you guys know it. But I got hired at my workplace along with another girl who was about my age, and we got hired at the same time, and got trained by the same people for the same time for about 2 weeks. And then the boss, but it was a small workplace, so it's not a big organization, really small workplace, only 6 of us or so, and the boss brought me and this girl in at the start of one day and said, just so you know, out of the two of you, I'm only going to be hiring one of you. this is your last day to show me who I hire. And it wasn't like a competitive kind of workplace. It wasn't a sales kind of workplace. You both know the work. It wasn't.
It's a workplace where really you should be learning to work together.
Work with people, yeah,
but
exactly.
from the get-go,
It's that's so
and
you've been trained to fight each other.
And then at the end, we were brought in, and the boss fired the person standing next to me, and we both it's also a really local workplace, so we all live in the same town, and I run into this person all the time, and that's one of the worst things the boss ever did was hire us both at the same time, and then just tell us after 2 weeks of getting to know each other and working together that she's going to fire one of us at the end of the day. Yeah. That was terrible. Angus?
I'm trying to think. Mostly my bosses just overwork me.
You're not allowed to consider me as your boss. I mean, I know I am, but for this context, I don't want you to... Otherwise,
well, while we're here, Jordan, if you would stop overworking Angus, that would be very nice.
That would be nice.
I'll dock your pay too, mate. You watch yourself.
Dock my pay?
Yeah.
Dock my pay? You know what? I fucking quit.
Yeah, me too, man.
You know what?
All right.
See you later, John.
You know what?
Angus, you can continue if you want to.
No,
Angus, now that Brody...
I'll do double.
Now that Brody has left
okay.
on, you're going to have to pick up his slack.
That's okay. I can do that.
With half... I'm not paying you, though. I'm not paying you anymore for that.
I've been kidnapped.
No.
Someone's slapping me.
It just sounds like you're being spanked.
Thank you for listening to the Film Slice podcast. You can reach us on Twitter at film_slice_pod. You can reach us on Instagram at filmslicepod. You can reach us on YouTube. You can reach us on SoundCloud. You can reach us on iTunes.
And Twitter.
That's the first one I said.
Was it?
Yeah, it sure was.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, Cane Dogs, and thanks for listening, all you slicey slices out there.
You slices from the bakery.
Love you guts. Bye.
Bye.